Hi guys, in today's video we are going to see a movie named Career Opportunities set in 1991. Sit back and enjoy. The main protagonist of this film is Jim and the female lead is Josie. And let's start the film. Our Jim is sitting on boss chair and he is talking to dogs as if they are responding to him, and he is making fun and talking lots of stories. And at the same time the dogs too are pretending to listen to him, and suddenly a man comes and kicks him off and he falls down, and we see that who is that guy, and he's the boss, and he throws his dresses away and he's making Jim go away, and he says, "You will never find a guy like me to work." And he says, "Yeah, you're right, I'll never ever find a guy like you, and I don't want as well." And now we see Jim in the next scene talking to some small boys about how much rich he is and how many cars he has and all the lies that he is saying, and the boys seems to believe him. And after that he keeps on saying all these lies, and then he goes to gas station and he asks for a job, and there the owner says, "It's enough that I have fired you so much times, now it's time for you to move on and go out of town and search for opportunities." Now our Jim is so frustrated and he doesn't know what to do, and suddenly a beautiful girl comes, and this guy is starting to pretend as if he's a millionaire, which he's always doing in his city. Now he's pretending to be a billionaire and he's giving all these looks, and she starts to smile and they both share a flirtatious smile. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, his father comes and he starts scolding him, "What are you doing over here?" And now our Jim says, "Well, I have resigned my job." "What? Did you resign your job?" "Well, I think not so. It seems that your owner has thrown you away, just like all your previous owners." Now Jim doesn't know what to do, and then his father is taking him along with him in a truck. Now there is dinner in his house, and suddenly his sister says that Josie has moved out of town to New York. Well, Jim doesn't agree with her and says, "I just saw her this afternoon." And while he was speaking about this, his father just stares at him and like, "What, you're going behind a girl? Man, I said you to get a job and go and have a living. Well, you should pay your rent." And the next day he's taking him to a Target supermarket where Jim is having an interview. His father says, "Better get work over here or I'll send you to an uncle who is a gardener." He speaks so well and he tries to brainwash and give all his cards of tricks, and finally the deal gets selected and he's getting like something around $45,000 per year, and suddenly it is interrupted by a call, and then he knows that this guy Jim is a fraud, and he then forgives him and says, "I'll pay you $4 per hour for the work you're going to do," and the work is going to be cleaning boy in the night. In the next scene we see Josie's father hanging out with his friends. They talk and these co-workers are all making fun, and suddenly Josie comes and this girl does some stunt. What she does is she kisses the guy, and his father is frustrated on what she's doing and he gets ashamed as well. On the night he goes to meet her and says that what you did was completely wrong and it was immoral. And the next scene we get to see that a couple is doing something in the car, and suddenly robbers come and throw them out and take out the car. In the next scene we get to see Jim going in a limousine, and his parents are wondering that where did he get that from. Well, I too don't have idea on that. And this guy keeps going, and then he sees these children who he keeps saying lies, and he says, "See, I'm going to meet Vice President of Bulgaria." Well, what is Vice President of Bulgaria doing here? Yet those small children believe in him and they say that he is so cool. The next scene we get to see that he pretends like a CEO in the supermarket, and the people don't know who he is. And there we see heroine as well, and she is stealing all these things. Either she is wearing it inside or just keeps stealing on, and we don't know the purpose. And suddenly it gets night, and then the boss comes and say, "You need to stay over here for all through the night." And then he gets like, "What? You didn't say me to stay over here." And then that guy says, "I don't really care what you think about that, and I'm just gonna lock it up." And now Jim doesn't know what to do and he starts doing his work. The boss takes his car and goes off, and we are left with only Jim in the supermarket, and also with all lights turned off because of saving current. And Jim turns them on back because he doesn't like that idea of being alone in the dark, and he does all his work, and within a short span of time he just completes all of his work. Having more lots of time left, he doesn't know what to do, and he simply got bored, and he then starts to eat all his favorite snacks and Target foods, and he starts reading books, and he starts enjoying himself wearing all the dresses over there and skating as well. And suddenly he sees a gorgeous girl who seems to be like waiting for just him alone, and seeing her he gets distracted and he goes falling bumping into all these things. And suddenly we see that another scene, Josie's father is asking about her daughter's whereabouts and the police starts to search for her. And then we see these two guys talking about, and this girl says that I started stealing here and I was unable to decide whether I was doing right or wrong. And then we see these two people talking to each other and sharing their thoughts on this world and their life. Now Jim is a very big liar in the city, and Josie is a very wealthy woman because of her father, and she wants to get rid of him because he doesn't like her, and that is the reason why she wanted to steal in the first place and get caught to the police so that they would take her somewhere far away from her father. We see them both getting close and they feel that they are somewhat similar, and Josie goes on saying, I'm unable to do the things that I want to do in life and you're somewhat similar to me. And this enrages Jim, who says, no, it's not like that, I really like what I am doing. Well, Josie says, really, what do you want to do in the first place? And Jim says, see, I'm so relaxed and I'm doing my job and very happy. Well, Josie doesn't agree with that, and suddenly Jim, he's got frustrated and he doesn't know what to do because of this, and he just goes away from her. And now Josie tries to convince him. At this scene we get to see that a car comes, and it's the car of the robbers who is trying to come and rob the supermarket. Josie says, I have above $50,000 and we could just take them and go somewhere else, and I just need a car. Well, Jim sees this and he thinks and he gets a second opinion, and Josie says, well, do you have some wishes and I'll grant it? And he says that, well, I want to do a high school dance, will you be my partner? This impresses Josie because she thought that they both are alone and he would take something advantageous, and yet he didn't decide to. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do subscribe, like and share our channel. It would be really motivating for us. Well, let's get on with the story. And they start dancing and they also get close and intimate, and they also kiss each other. Well, next scene we see that police comes and asks Jim that did you see this girl called Josie because she's missing, and Jim says no, I didn't see. And so the police returns back. These two people are enjoying a lot and they're skating and all these things and they are having fun, and suddenly they see these two guys taking the gun and pointing at their head, and they too get bumped over them because of the speed. They couldn't stop and they go and they turn all the lights off, and yet these two robbers find them back. And now Jim starts planning, and what he does is takes the guns back from them, and then the robber says these are toy guns and it's useless. Okay, so take it back. But the robbers shoots and shows that no, they are not dummies buddy, and then they steal once again hostile. Now it's time for Josie to make her turn, and she starts teasing them, and these both of the guys are getting distracted and they have started doing what they wanted to do, that is start robbing. So they start to rob all these things, all the luxurious things in the supermarkets. Now Josie is changing sides and she says that I too will come with you, and our hero doesn't like that. And then these two guys are saying, look guy, do what you want but don't interfere in our work, she's ours. And then Josie takes the car and she goes off taking all these products that were loaded in the car, and Jim gets a shotgun out of nowhere, and then he starts taking these two guys on his own. The police arrives and he hears these sounds, and then he comes and sees that these two guys are trapped. And the next day we see Josie return and take Jim along with her, and now these two people are going in the car and just hanging out together. And then we see a funny thing, that Hollywood being renamed as Jimwood. If you like this video, do share, like and subscribe, it will be helpful for us. And until we see in the next video, take care.